Welcome back to the Media Unrestricted podcast. I'm Chase.
And I'm Dylan.
We don't have a lot of news for you, but we got a lot of great topics to talk to you about. So let's not wait any further and get down to Spider-Man No Way Home, making over $1 billion at the box office just this weekend. Yeah, this movie has been kind of the box office sensation that I think everybody knew it would be. I actually have got to see it two times so far, with the first showing last Thursday. And I got to see it with my mother on Christmas, and it was still an absolute blast. I still love the movie a lot, and our screening was pretty much sold out. And whenever we were leaving the theater, the line was all the way out the door. So people have been, I think, wanting to see Spider-Man for the first time, and I really, really think there's a lot of people out there that are going to see Spider-Man multiple different times. And I'm going to say, I would definitely see it again. I just love this movie so much. I'm very proud to see this movie. It was no surprise just with how many people were so anticipating this movie with the trailers and everything. And it's just crazy that this movie has done it without even China making a single dollar. They haven't even done it there yet, if they do it at all. It's just crazy how big of a sensation this movie has been, and I just kind of didn't expect anything different. And I really think it's going to make over $2 billion. I really, really do, and I wouldn't be surprised if it makes it just here in the next few weeks. I mean, I'm probably going far fetched on that, but I'm very, very proud to see this movie because it definitely deserves it. It sets up a lot of great things. So, I mean, if you people are listening to this and haven't seen this movie, what are you doing? Go out there and see it. Go support the film because supporting the film is definitely worth it. It's just something special that you have to experience in the theaters. So, Dylan, what is your thoughts on all of what Spider-Man has made so far? Do you think it'll make the $2 billion? And I mean, have you got second chance to see this movie again? What's your thoughts on everything, man?
Yeah, man, I don't know in the current climate if there's any way that Spider-Man can get $2 billion, especially because they haven't released in China. They're currently scheduled to release in China, I think on January 12th or 17th or something. But there's no telling if they're even going to make that release date or if it's even going to release in China, period. If it does release in China, then yeah, it could probably easily pass $2 billion. But at this point, with no release in China, I just don't see it passing $2 billion. But I'm so happy it has made $1 billion at least, because it really deserves it. It's such a great movie, and I really want to see it again. I've only been able to see it that one time on premiere night, but I've really been wanting to see it again, just haven't had the money to go see it, but I'd really love to go see it again at some point.
And let's get right into those box office numbers from this weekend, from the 24th to the 26th. Usually, I always pull off my box office from Box Office Mojo, which is a very good website if you want to know the numbers. Kicking off no surprise, Spider-Man at 84 million just in these days. That is insane. It's just insane. Nobody, because my girlfriend's sister works at the movie theaters, and she said on that last week, just on Spider-Man Day, that everyone was just seeing that. Nobody was seeing anything else. It's just crazy just to see it. Like I said before, but it's just awesome to see it. Sing 2 came in at number 2 with 22 million. Number 3 was The Matrix Resurrections, coming in with 12 million. I really thought Matrix would have made more than that, but I know that it being on HBO Max probably killed it for sure. But I've not been really wanting to see this movie. I have no anticipations on wanting to see it. The trailer always kind of annoyed me, so I really just don't care. Nothing against Keanu Reeves. I love Keanu Reeves from Bill and Ted, and just give me John Wick 4. That's all I care about. I know which that has moved to 2023, which really sucks, but just give me John Wick 4. I don't care. Kingsman came in at number 4 with 5 million, and American Underdog also had 5 million as well at number 5. That's those box office numbers. Dylan, what are your thoughts on all these numbers? Are you surprised about Matrix and Kingsman, and what's your thoughts on everything?
Yeah, man, the box office is incredible. Like, Spider-Man's just chugging along, and then you see the number 2 and number 3, not even close. Like that just goes to show you how Spider-Man is just dominating everything. Nobody wants to go see anything else, just Spider-Man. And it really helps that it came out right at almost Christmas, so everybody's off on break and stuff, and they're able to go see Spider-Man. So Spider-Man is benefiting heavily from all of that.
And moving on to more Marvel news, the runtime and rating has been revealed. Morbius will be upon us really, really soon. Just 1 month today from recording this. The runtime was revealed on Cinemark. They revealed it to be 108 minutes long, including credits. So that's kind of, I mean, almost that's 11 minutes longer than Venom. Let There Be Carnage. So, I mean, I guess it's not terrible. That is definitely my one complaint with Venom Let There Be Carnage was that runtime. I just think that runtime just sucks because it's over just like that. I mean, which is just no problem with the movie being done like that, but come on, give me something longer. So, hopefully, this 108 minutes just does it everything perfectly. I'm super excited to see what will happen all in the 108 minutes because I really think it's going to be kick ass. And the movie has been rated PG-13 for intense sequences of violence, some frightening images, and brief, strong language. I kind of wanted an R rating, but kind of, with these superhero movies and stuff these days, just getting a rated R rating is kind of tough. But I think it'll still work with PG-13 because they can sometimes get away with a lot of stuff at times. So, Dylan, what do you think of all of this? The runtime, do you think it's too short, too long? Do you agree with the rating and everything? And how's your excitement level right now with it just being a month away? Are you excited to see the living vampire make his first appearance on the big screen?
Yeah, man, I think the PG-13 rating for Morbius is fine. It doesn't need to be like super gory or anything, honestly. Like you can get away with some blood and like a little tiny bit of gore like Venom did because they showed like people's heads getting bitten off and everything. But the only thing about this that bothers me is the runtime. Like that's such a short movie still cuz Venom Let There Be Carnage felt really really short and its runtime really showed it. And I just don't want this to feel like it's gonna fly by. Because so look at Spider-Man: No Way Home. That movie was 2.5 hours long, and that shit felt like it flew by super quick. So I'm just hoping the runtime doesn't make it feel slow, but I'm not getting my hopes up.
And moving on to the other world of DC, the Batman came out with a new trailer, and boy, did it deliver, man. This trailer was kick ass. I love this trailer so, so much. It showed additional footage of Pattinson's Bruce Wayne more in his costume. That's what I really think we're going to get a lot of more of Bruce in the costume, which is something I'm totally looking forward to. And we see Paul Denino's, I think how you say it. I can't the portrayals the Riddler in different sequences, which looks like he's going to be a solid, amazing villain. Looks like he's really going to kick it. I really think he might be up there with Heath Ledger. I really think. I know that's really far fetched to say that, but I really think he is going to do a phenomenal job. And I'm super, super excited to see what he brings to the Riddler character. And we also see kind of from the footage, like his Wayne's like the family legacy. It's kind of I think kind of the center of all of what's going on, and it's kind of the mystery. And we see more of Catwoman in this trailer, and like her relationship with Batman and what's it gonna be. And I just this movie is set to debut in theaters on March 4th next year, and I just cannot wait for this movie. It is going to be something phenomenal in Batman, and I'm really, really looking forward to actually seeing, I think, more from this thing because I know that I think they're planning to do kind of more movies after this, so hopefully we do. Hopefully, Experience Brothers was on a podcast, and during the conversation, he brought up that the subject of shortened theatrical windows came up, and he said that the Batman will be hitting HBO Max after the 45-day window is up, meaning fans can watch it from the comfort of their own homes on April 19th. So um, I really think it's not going to really hurt the film at all because I think everyone's going to be seeing this movie just like they did for Spider-Man on that day one, and I think everyone's going to be cheering. They're going to be really excited to see this movie. And I mean, you know what? I really think it's going to be a hit. And you know what? I might just get on HBO Max just to go watch it again, just for fuck's sakes. Who cares? And moving on, before we get to our kind of fun question of the day, because there's not really any TV show stuff to talk about, we're going to have a Scream video coming for you next week. So stay tuned for that. It is going to be on the new movie. We're going to be doing like kind of the betting odds, what we think, who's going to make it out alive, who's going to be the killer, and all that stuff, all that fun stuff. Maybe throwing a little fun stuff with who our favorite killer was during this franchise, and all this stuff. So please stay tuned for next week for that video. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and I cannot wait to bring it to you. So stay tuned for an exciting Scream video. Now moving on to what we call our fun question of the day. More or less, it's not going to be a question, but I guess it can be if you can look at it this way. It will be our top 10 best movies of 2021 and our top 10 worst movies of 2021. And we will also throw in at the end our top anticipated movies of next year. So I'm going to kick it off with the worst category. Starting off with number 10, I picked Army of the Dead. I did not hate this movie whenever me and Dylan got a chance to see it in theaters. I thought it was kind of fun at times. The action scenes were really cool. I just had a problem with a lot of talking, not enough action. I really thought that was its problem, and I really thought the runtime was a little bit too long, about 2 hours and 45 minutes. I think that was just way, way too long for this movie. But it was a lot of fun, so that's why I give it number 10. Number 9 is the movie I'm probably going to get a lot of shit for and everything, but you know what? I just didn't like it when I saw it, which would be coming in, and it was Dune. I just did not like this movie. I thought, again, too much talk, not enough action. And that's just what the trailers to me brought, was just a lot of action, and just, to me, was just not enough of it. The only thing I really liked about the movie was the villains, but I mean, will I see the sequel when it comes out? Absolutely. I just did not like it when I see it, but I do need to give it another chance. I'm hoping that I can. Maybe I'll re-review it for you and maybe come out with a different opinion. Number 8 was the film Separation. I didn't get a chance to see it in theaters. I did pick it up from, I think it was Redbox, and it was, I couldn't make it all the way through. That was half my problem with this one. I kind of was really looking forward to it. This is the one about the puppets, I think. I think if I remember this right, because it was during the really beginning. It was just okay. It's not a good movie all around. It's kind of boring at times. Not really scary. It just didn't work for me at all. Number 7 was Wrath of Man. Um, I don't know about this movie. It was just not as good as I thought it was going to be. Um, I just I kind of thought, because this is like a bank robbery movie. I'm a really big fan of those type of film, but this one was just kind of dull. Nothing against the dude from Hobbs and Shaw. Can't remember what his name is. I'm dropping a blank right now. Um, it's just nothing against him. It's just this movie was just dull, and the action was just dull. So I just did not like this one. Number 6 was Great White, which I believe this came into theaters, but maybe not. I think it was. I know it was a direct to DVD, maybe actually. But it's like a shark movie, and I usually have a lot of good times with these shark movies. But this one, I mean, the cover was cool and everything. This movie just sucks. It is so. The CGI was terrible, and I just felt like they reused a lot of shots. And it's just like kind of a problem with these shark movies and everything. You've seen it once, you've seen it before. Um, I just do not recommend this movie for any shark fan. Watch Jaws and have a good time. Number 5 was a movie we actually talked about not that long ago, The Escape Room Tournament of Champions. As y'all know, me and Dylan did not like this movie at all, and I still hate this movie so freaking much. It sucks so bad. The first one was a really good movie. This one just sucks. And knowing that there's 2 versions, it still doesn't help the film. It just sucks. I hate it. Not much more I can say. Just check out our video when we talked about it just a few weeks ago in our actual live episode. Just stay away from this movie. Number 4 was Tom and Jerry. I really know I shouldn't shit on kids' movies, but this movie just blows, man. This thing sucks. I didn't make it all the way through. It is just really stupid. It shits on the characters of Tom and Jerry, and just the acting is awful. It's just, this movie's stupid. I do not recommend this movie. Number three, another movie I don't recommend at all. Actually, all these movies I don't recommend. Snake Eyes. If you all watched our video, our rant about this movie, you know everything. So I'm not gonna go into full depth about it. This movie is just boring. The acting is awful. It just sets up a sequel that I don't think we'll ever get. I think it's shot on the Snake Eyes character. I just hate it. It sucks. It's terrible. Move on. Number two, another movie we actually shitted on just not that long ago, Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City. Again, as you know, they shitted on the characters. They shitted on everything. The only thing they got right was the sets and all that. And the feel was good. This movie just sucks. Don't see it. And number one was a movie I got a chance to watch with my girlfriend, Cinderella. It sucks. It's terrible. This does what those other movies did. Shit on the Cinderella character. And it just does that modern touch, and that modern touch is not needed. It's just stupid. I mean, just don't even touch this movie. Watch the animated classic, or maybe that 21 that came out 2015 that Disney did. Don't touch this Cinderella movie. Don't even mess with it. If you see it, just no. Moving on to the best, number 10, Venom, Let There Be Carnage. Um, as I said just not that long ago, I had a great time with this movie. Just the runtime really sucks for it only being about half an hour. Just not enough stuff can happen in it. But I thought it was a really good, fun film, and I can't wait to see more in Venom. Number 9 is Nobody. I really, really like this movie when I got a chance to see it. It's just like John Wick and just delivers everything. I can't remember what the lead actor's name is. What do I forget in this? Hopefully it comes to me before I get done talking about it. But this movie, just some of these action scenes were insane and just all balls to the wall fun. I just love this movie so much. I definitely recommend um, anyone who likes the John Wick movies to see this one. It is definitely worth the while. And remember, the name was Bob Odenkirk. Bob Odenkirk steals the show in this Nobody movie. Christopher Lloyd was fantastic in it. So if you can get a chance to see Nobody, I definitely recommend it. Number 8 was Ghostbusters Afterlife. This was just a phenomenal movie. Definitely a lot of fan service, and it delivers everywhere. Paul Rudd steals the show. So if you're a Ghostbusters fan, you don't want to miss that movie. Number 7 is Candyman. I just had such a good time when I saw this movie. I heard the mixed reviews kind of going in, and I just had such a good time. I've had a great time with the Candyman franchise. I really think I've only seen the first one and this one, so I guess I can't say the full franchise. But I had such a good time with them, and I really want more Candyman after seeing this. Number 6 was Godzilla vs. Kong. I thought this would be down lower, but these other movies below it have just have a were just better. But I love Godzilla vs. Kong. There's nothing wrong with it. It's still just a fun movie, and it's one I will definitely go to watch over and over again. Um, and it was kind of like just think the movie I think I've been looking for a while. I think this is on my anticipated movies of this year. But you just got to see that one just for a good, fun popcorn film. Number 5 was Halloween Kills. Again, another movie I thought would be down here a little bit lower. But it's just Halloween Kills. Just it kills, man. It was awesome. I loved it. I can't wait to see it again. Definitely that extended cut and see what it brings. But as you know, it was great. Um, Number 4, the Suicide Squad. At first viewing, I didn't like it, but then I got a chance to see it with my girlfriend, and then I've had another viewing when it came out on Blu-ray. And every time after seeing it, I just have added so much appreciation, and I love this movie, and it will definitely have a special place in my heart for one certain thing. for the date I had with on the movie with my girlfriend. But this movie is just fantastic. I just I just think it was definitely the way better attempt of the Suicide Squad from the other one. And Peacemaker, thank you. That's all I can say from this. I definitely take from the movie. Thank you, Peacemaker. Number three, Quiet Place 2. This movie was number one for the longest time, and it got beaten out by the film that's under this. But Quiet Place 2 is just a phenomenal sequel. These Quiet Place movies are just something special. You got to see these movies, even if you don't love horror. You can easily find appreciation in them. John Krasinski did just a fantastic job with them. So please, John, if you're listening, which I know you're not, but if you are listening, please come back and make Quiet Place 3. I would really love to have you do it again. Number two was Shangchi. Um, this was number one until it just got beat just not that long ago by the film you know what's going to be. But this was such a fun adventure kind of Marvel movie, man. This movie was just a great IMAX experience, and I need to get a chance to watch it again. But it really gave me a lot of appreciation for the character, and he was really cool. So I'm excited to see more of him. And number one, Spider-Man: No Way Home. Just as I so many times, this movie is phenomenal. I don't want to go much into it. It is fan service at its most. Um, Seeing Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield is such a delight. So, yeah, Spider-Man No Way Home is my number one. And moving on to my top 10 most anticipated movies to come out in 2022. This one kind of gave me a little bit of trouble, just trying to think. Um, but going no further, we got number 10, Uncharted. I really love the franchise of the video games, so I really hope this is just as good. I really think Tom Holland could do a fantastic job. I'm still not sure about Mark Wahlberg, but who knows? Maybe he'll do all right. Number 9, Sonic 2. That first trailer was really good. I really think this second movie is going to be just as great as the first one, to be honest with you. Just really feels like it's right out of the games, and I can't wait to see what that one brings. Number 8, Lightyear. Buzz is one of my favorite Disney characters, and he's my favorite Toy Story character. So I'm really excited to see this prequel, see what Chris Evans brings to Buzz, and just kind of learn a little bit more. And this looks phenomenal from the trailer. So I'm really looking forward to seeing some more Buzz for sure. Number 7, The Flash. Flash has always been kind of a favorite of mine, and definitely knowing Michael Keaton's coming back as Batman. I mean, how does that not get you excited? Just seeing Michael Keaton, which is my favorite Batman, back in the suit another time. So, number 7, yeah, The Flash. I really think Ezra Miller's he's been killing it. I think he's gonna continue. Number 6, Thor: Love and Thunder. And man, more Thor, and definitely bringing Jane Foster back and see the Guardians of the Galaxy make an appearance. I think that is a thing for success. So we'll see what that one brings when it comes out. Number 5, Jurassic World Dominion. If anyone knows, Jurassic Park is my favorite movie of all time, and I really think this one is going to be just as good as the original. I really do. I know that's far fetched just to think that, but just the idea of the dinosaurs being out in the wild and just knowing what are they going to do. And I know they released kind of like a picture for the holidays, and it kind of showed Blue in the back and maybe a baby. So is Blue gonna have a baby? I don't know. That's just kind of crazy. Just to see what Jurassic World Dominion is gonna bring, I think it's gonna bring madness and just an amazing film. Number 4, Halloween Ends. I mean, how can it not be in the top 5, man? Halloween Ends. I think it's gonna be something special just to see how they do end this franchise, if they do at all. But I mean, I just don't know what to expect. So definitely plan on sometime during 2022 breaking that one down and seeing what we think is going to happen. Um, Number 3, the Batman. Um, and number 2 is Morbius. As you know, I've been definitely excited to see what Morbius is because he is over time grown to be one of my favorite Marvel characters. I really think Jared Leto's going to rock at this role. as he's done before many times. I just can't wait to see um, the living vampire brought to the screen, and just seeing who else is going to show up. Is Venom going to make an appearance? Is Spider-Man going to be in here? What's Vulture's role going to be? So many questions are going to be answered in just 1 month. And number one is Scream. Um, it's been kind of Morbius was number one, and then Scream has this over time. I'm just been more excited about Scream over time recently, and it's just crazy to know. In just 2 more weeks, this movie will be coming to us, and I really think it's going to deliver everything. And I hope it sets up more movies because I'd love to see more Scream. Can't get enough of it. But Dylan, what is your top 10 worst, top 10 best of this year, and what is your top 10 most exciting movies of 2022? A lot of great choices from there, man. I've got to know, what are your thoughts on everything you got from this year and next year? But just love to know, man.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna start off with my worst movies. I don't have a top 10 because there weren't a lot of movies this year that I really hated. I liked the majority of the movies that came out this year. I only had five on my list. Three were terrible, and my bottom two aren't even like bad movies. They're just not good enough to be on my best movies. I'm gonna start off with my worst movies. At number five, I'm going from 5 to 1. Starting at 5 is the movie Encanto. It's a Pixar movie about a girl who lives in Colombia with her family, and everyone in their family has a magic power they got when they were a child, but she's the only one who didn't, and because of that, her grandma basically sees her as like less than everybody else, and they feel like she's the reason that stuff starts going bad throughout the movie, and then they end up resolving it by the end. The only thing for me that made this movie into my worst movies is that just because it's a Disney movie doesn't mean it needs singing. Like, there are like 8 family members in this family that are on screen, and they give like every single one a musical number. Like, it's just not necessary. I saw this movie with my girlfriend as a date because she likes these animated Disney movies, and so do I. And I wanted to give this a shot, and so did she. And she agreed with me. She agreed with me that there were just way too many music. There was just too much music and too many dance numbers. Like, it's just ridiculous. If there weren't that many in it, if there was only like maybe one or two or none at all, just let the animation speak for itself, then it would have worked fine. Because you can go look at like Toy Story and stuff. They have Randy Newman singing in the background. They don't have the characters like dancing to it and stuff, or the characters themselves singing it. They just have stuff going on while that music's in the background, and it works perfectly fine. You just don't need characters on screen singing. It just kind of ruins it, especially for me. And I mean, she didn't like it either, so her opinion to me matters more than mine. And she liked the movie, and so did I. Just too much singing. That's why it's on my worst movies list. At number 4 is Black Widow. Now, I don't think this is an awful movie in the slightest. It's just not great. You know what I mean? It's a solid like 6.5 out of 10 Marvel movie. You know, to me it's down there with like Thor: The Dark World, and what are some other ones? Like, I enjoyed Ant-Man and the Wasp, but it's pretty low in the Marvel, like on the Marvel movie lists, you know what I mean? So that's pretty much why it's on my worst movies list, because that and like just some of the movie, just like, I don't know, to me it felt kind of clunky. And I do agree with a lot of what other people say. This movie should have came out back in like 2015 or 2016, because then it would have made sense. This movie could have been a good lead-in for Black Widow's character to get some more sympathy points during her death in Endgame, because the movie ends pretty much right where Infinity War picks up. So they could have placed this like played this as the last movie right before Infinity War, and it would have made perfect sense. But they didn't. They waited until they wanted to release it in 2020, but it kept getting delayed and then it got delayed until 2021. So the movie suffered for it, and it's pretty low on the bottom of the Marvel movie list, and it's number 4 on the worst movie list for me. Going to number 3 is Escape Room Tournament of Champions. Now, Chase told you exactly why this is on our worst movies list. It's a terrible movie. It's an awful sequel. Logan Miller is always going to be a great actor to me. I love his role as Ben in these movies. I just hope they do better if they do make a third one, because this movie was not good. Mine and Chase's 1 and 2 are kind of similar. My number 2 is Snake Eyes. Now, at the time we saw that movie, like coming out of it, that was the worst movie both of us have ever seen. And we saw that terrible, shitty horror movie, Dead Silence. Snake Eyes was incredibly terrible. There was some acting in it that was okay, but the main actor, he was just bad. Like, he showed no emotion. There was no emotional grip throughout any of the movie. Like, there was just nothing. Like, I don't know what they expected us to feel throughout that whole movie for him. And like Chase said, it was just a butchering of the character. And I just hope they make a movie like sometime in the future that actually does this character justice, because this was the worst movie we ever saw at the time we saw it. And going down to the worst movie of 2021 and the worst movie I have ever seen, which beat out Snake Eyes for the worst movie I've ever seen, Resident Evil: Welcome to Raccoon City. Now, Chase is right that it has some story beat or some similar storylines and some locations that look nice and kind of accurate. Like, the mansion looks kind of accurate, but there's just a lot from the games that they really changed up for the movie that just didn't make sense. Like, the scenes where they're going into the mansion, they have guns, but yet in the opening cutscene for Resident Evil 1, they're being chased by the zombie dogs. They ran out of ammo and all of this stuff. And they didn't do that in this movie. They just walked in with guns and flashlights. Like, that's not in the game. And then the helicopter crashes in through the ceiling of the mansion, but the helicopter crashed outside, and then they were being chased by dogs. Like, the game or the movie wants you to feel like you're trying to watch the game, but like they just get so much wrong from the game. Like, don't even get me started on Leon. Like, I guess Ivan Jogia did the best he could with the script he was given, but they just made Leon into a fucking idiot in this movie. And Leon's not an idiot. He's a highly trained cop. Like, sure, he's a rookie, but he still went to police academy and he knows how to operate weapons and stuff. And it's just ridiculous how they really treated Leon's character in this movie. I fucking hate that. Claire was the only good character in this movie, in my opinion. Everything else was just bad. Like, it's such an awful movie. Moving on to my best movies of 2021 to give this an upside. I do have a top 10 for this one. Starting at number 10, I'm going to go with The Suicide Squad. Now, I didn't love this movie as much as everyone else did. I think coming out of the theater, I gave it like a 7.5 out of 10. And that's mainly because, to me, a movie is good when there's really good pacing. And the pacing of this was just off to me. Like, I don't know how to really explain it. Like, I don't know. I just feel like there were sometimes they didn't spend enough time on some other things, and then other times they lingered on stuff too long, and other times they didn't give some characters like enough character, if that makes sense. Like, they didn't explore any backstory. They didn't give us a reason to care about some of them. They gave us a reason to care about Polka Dot Man, which was cool because he was one of my favorite characters, and Ratcatcher, but that's about it. Like, King Shark, we know King Shark from all the various other DC media, like the Harley Quinn show on HBO Max, and he's even going to be in that Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League game. But they didn't give us a reason to care for Bloodsport. They didn't even really give us a reason to care for Rick Flag, other than we knew that he was in the 2016 Suicide Squad movie. Now, like Chase said, Peacemaker did steal the show. John Cena was absolutely fantastic in this role and in this movie. And Starro, I think that's what the villain's name was. We haven't seen this movie in like 4 months, so he was a great villain in this movie. I thought they really did him well. I just wish that he wouldn't have been killed off. He would have just like flown into space or something, because he is a pretty big villain in DC Comics, and he's a really like universal threat. And I don't know, I just kind of feel like they kind of killed him off too easily in this movie, but all those nitpicks aside, it is on my top 10 best movies of 2021 list, and for good reason. It was a good movie. Good movie. Coming in at number 9 is Godzilla vs. Kong. Now, it's only at number 9 because in my opinion, there were 8 other movies better than it this year, but this is already in a long list of great movies. So Godzilla vs. Kong to me was a really, really good movie this year. I didn't really have any nitpicks with it. I enjoyed my time with it. And I don't know. I just can't think of anything wrong with it, in my opinion. I just think there were some movies that were better than it this year. Coming in at number 8 is Venom Let There Be Carnage. Now, us as Marvel fans have been waiting a long time to see Carnage get the big screen treatment he deserves. And while he doesn't have like carnage in this movie, he's not able to like go off and just like kill a bunch of random people. He does rampage through a mental asylum and kill a bunch of guards and stuff, but like it's not brutal, mainly because it's PG-13, I guess. But with Venom, I feel like he would have benefited greatly from that R rating. But regardless of that, they did the best they could with their PG-13 rating, and I really think it hit, especially that end credit scene that pushed him into the MCU, but then Spider-Man pulled him back out. But that's neither here nor there. Coming in at number 7, The Quiet Place Part 2. When it came out, it was like the number 1 movie of the year for me. And it was, I just can't put into words how incredible that movie was. Because I saw the first one and was absolutely blown away. Everyone was like, oh, it's one of the best movies they've ever seen. And I was like, what was the hype on that one? Then I watched it and I was like, yeah, I definitely see the hype. Quiet Place Part 2, you get more backstory. You see what happens before the aliens come. And it's just interesting. Like, just seeing how everything happened and then just seeing where everything goes after the first one. It's just really interesting, and it's such a great movie. And it was one of the best movies of the year for me. Number 6 is Candyman. Now, I see a lot of people saying they didn't like this one either, and I don't get it. Because to me, it's better than the original movie. I saw the original movie I saw the original 2 movies in preparation to watch the new Candyman movie, and those other 2 movies are awful. Like, the original first movie is it's like almost literal dog shit. I got bored watching it, if I'm being honest. It was not scary. It was not suspenseful. I was just bored watching it. It was awful. But this modern Candyman, to me, was entertaining, and it did get scary at times because there were sometimes you didn't know what would happen, and like the practical effects and stuff, special effects, it was all great, and I just had a really fun time with this movie. Coming in at number 5, Chase didn't have this on his list. I'm wondering if he forgot about it or if there were just a bunch of other movies he thought were better than it. But Free Guy. Now, this is a shocker to a lot of people because a lot of people, when they saw the trailer, they thought it didn't look that great. They thought it was just like, oh, it's Ryan Reynolds doing a B movie, about video games and stuff like that. People thought the trailers didn't look that great. And then when it came out, though, it made all the money during because during pandemic still, made all the money, and it got really great reviews from critics and from fans. And they brought in like a lot of nostalgic video game references and a lot of just video game references, period, that didn't really feel too like ham-fisted or just thrown in there. There were even some cool cameos by like Chris Evans in there, which is cool, because since it's a Fox thing and Disney owns Fox now, they can make whatever kind of Star Wars, Marvel references they want to. It's just incredible. This movie was great, and they really portrayed like an open world video game really, really well. Number 4 is Dune. Now, for me, this movie is Oscar worthy, in my opinion. I don't know if it'll win an Oscar, but I really do think it should be in the consideration. This movie was fantastic. I'd never read the books. Other people have. People who read the books said this is basically like a 1-to-1 recreation of the books, which is absolutely nuts when you think about it. Because at my old job, there was somebody who was reading an audiobook of Dune in preparation for watching the movie. And he said he wasn't done reading the book yet. I was like, have you got to the part where the mom and son are trying to escape from the worm? He's like, yeah, I actually just finished that part up. And then that's when I told him, I was like, yeah, that's pretty much where the movie, or did you get to the part where Paul has to fight the leader of that tribe? And he's like, yeah, that's the part I just finished up. I was like, okay, you can stop listening to the book because that's where part 1 ends if you want to. Like, it's just so good. It really sets up for a part 2. And I just really can't wait to see where part 2 goes because part 1 was such a fantastic, phenomenal movie. Coming up in number 3, best movie of 2021, Ghostbusters Afterlife. I had so much fun with this movie. It's been a long time since I watched the original. I never saw Ghostbusters 2, but I watched the first one and the second one in preparation to watch this, and I just had such a fun time with it. It really stays true to the original 2, unlike the 2016 one, which a lot of people didn't necessarily like hate. They just didn't like it per se. But yeah, it really, since it's directed by the son of the original director, like he really stays true to the original two movies and the vision Dan Aykroyd and Bill Murray and Harold Ramis and all of them had. And this movie really is just a really great tribute to Harold Ramis. And from what I saw, all the actors and everybody, even Harold Ramis's family, really liked the movie and loved the message that it sent. And I agree. I thought it was a great message and a great movie all around. My number 2 movie this year is Shang-Chi. This movie was absolutely fantastic. There were some people calling it the best fantasy epic of the last 10, 15 years. I don't know. I don't really recall seeing any fantasy epics that could compete with it, so I guess I can't argue that. But it really was a great Marvel movie, and I loved it so much. For a character that nobody really knew about, and like nobody really had any reason to care for, it made a lot of money, and it got a lot of really good critic and audience scores. Like, fans really resonated with this character, and it's insane because Simu Liu really knocked this character out of the park and this movie, and I can't wait to see where he goes next in the Marvel Universe. Excuse me. Coming in at number 1 is no surprise. It's Spider-Man No Way Home. Like Chase said and everybody else says, I absolutely loved this movie. I loved all the references. I loved the cameos from past Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire. It was absolutely fantastic. All the villains were amazing. Green Goblin stole the show, obviously. Just pure evil Goblin, which we really desperately needed in another Spider-Man movie. And it's really cool that Willem Dafoe Green Goblin and Alfred Molina Green Goblin, since they were brought in from an alternate universe into the MCU, they're technically MCU canon, which is really cool. It's just an all-around great movie, and if you haven't seen it yet, go see it. It's still in theaters right now, obviously, making all the money, over 1.2 billion dollars at this moment. I think over 500 million at either at the domestic or like opening weekend. I can't remember, but yeah, just go see it if you haven't yet. It's such a great movie. Now, moving on to my 10 anticipated movies of 2022. Starting in at number 10 is a shocker that a lot of people didn't see coming, and that is a movie called Turning Red. Now, it's a Pixar movie, and I just really want to see it because I just think it looks like a really cute movie. It's about a Canadian girl who has some Asian heritage, and whenever she gets like embarrassed or I think angry or something, she turns into like a big red panda. And it's just like it just seems like a really cute sort of like, I don't know. It just seems like a really cute movie, and it really has me interested in it because I really like the art style too. And just like the panda character in the movie, it just looks so cute. And I just can't wait to see that movie. Coming in at number 9 is Morbius. Chase had this at, I think, like 1 or 2, but for me, it's at number 9 because there are quite a few movies I have ahead of it. I'm still looking forward to Morbius. Like Chase said, it's a few weeks away. It's like, I think the week after Scream or 2 weeks after Scream or something, which is nuts. So we'll get to see a few movies back to back, which I can't wait for. And you can't wait to see Morbius the Living Vampire on the big screen, see how it ties into Spider-Man, and see what comes next after that. Coming in at number 8 is The Flash. I can't wait to see what they do with what some people are saying could be the Flashpoint storyline, because they're bringing in Michael Keaton's Batman, and then there were also rumors, I don't know if it was confirmed or not, that Michael Keaton's going to be the Batman in the DCEU Batgirl movie or whatever. So we'll see how that goes and see how that is, because I can't wait till The Flash comes onto the big screen. Coming at number 7 is Uncharted. Now, a lot of people don't like how this movie looks. I don't have a problem with it. I think Tom Holland's going to knock this stuff out of the park. Because some of these trailers to me were great, especially the end of that first trailer when the Scottish dude is talking to Tom Holland's Nathan Drake, and then he's just like, "What?" I don't know. I just thought that was really funny and really in character for Nathan Drake, and this movie I think is going to be good. People just overlooking it because they think Sully character looks bad. I agree. I don't like the casting for Sully either. I would have rather had Bruce Campbell, because to me he just seems like a perfect Sully. I know a lot of people said Stephen Lang, but I don't get the appeal of Stephen Lang as Sully. I really don't. He doesn't look like a Sully to me. I think Bruce Campbell would have been a perfect Sully in my opinion. Coming in at number 6 is one I guess Chase forgot about as well, is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse Part 1. Now, we got into the Spider-Verse back in 2019, or 2018. I think it was 2019, and it was one of the like best received movies I think of all time. Like I think it has like a 96 or 97% Rotten Tomatoes score. Like, and a lot of people are considering it the best Spider-Man movie ever made. Like they say Spider-Man 2 is first, and then Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, and then No Way Home third. But for me, it's flipped around. I think No Way Home is first, Into the Spider-Verse is second, and Spider-Man 2 is third, because I think Spider-Man 2 is personally overrated. But anyways, back to the topic at hand. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse looks fantastic. We get to see the return of Spider-Gwen, and we get to see Spider-Man 2029, and Miles being pulled into different universes. I just can't wait to see what happens with all of that and to see where it goes into, because it is a part one, and I think they said we're getting part two immediately next year. Coming in at number 5 is Black Panther 2 Wakanda Forever. Now, I don't know what they're going to do with this, because I don't know if they're even finished filming or not. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to come out this year. And I don't know like what they're doing with it or what's happening, because there's a current like petition and like huge campaign going on to recast T'Challa, but I don't know if they do that, if they would do that for the next Black Panther movie or do it for this one, rewrite the script and then reshoot some stuff to have it come out next year or 2 years from now. But yeah, as of right now, it's my number 5 most anticipated movie, because I can't wait to see what they do with this movie and see how they honor Chadwick Boseman's legacy, because that'll be such a good moment to witness on screen. Coming in at number 4, it's Chase's I think number 2 or 3 most anticipated movie. For me, it's number 4, The Batman. Now we just recently had a trailer. Excuse me. We just recently had a trailer come out yesterday that just like really affirmed everyone's belief that this movie is going to be great. It was Batman, Catwoman. We got to see more Riddler. Like, this movie is just gonna have so much Batman stuff in it. It has the potential, in my opinion, to be the best Batman movie ever made, and I just can't wait to see what goes on with it. Coming in at number 3 is Thor: Love and Thunder. Now, I can't wait to see what they do with this one either, because there are reports that Jane Foster is set to become Lady Thor in this movie. And if she does, I'm sure the theater will go absolutely apeshit, because I know Lady Thor is a really big character that a lot of people like. And Natalie Portman's Jane Foster is one of my favorite Marvel characters. I know that sounds weird to say, but she is. I just really like her character in these Thor movies, and I can't wait to see what they do with Thor, and if the Guardians might be in this movie somehow, or what they do with that, because when we last saw Thor in Avengers Endgame, he was leaving on the Milano with the Guardians, so we'll see what happens with all that. Coming in at number 2 most anticipated is Scream. Like Chase said, we get to see that here in a few weeks, and I'm absolutely stoked. There hasn't been a Scream movie on the big screen in literally 10 years. 2011 was Scream 4, and this is 5 Cream, so we'll see where they take Scream 5 and just see what's going on with it. Coming in at my number 1 most anticipated movie of 2022, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. There is so much hype and just like insane reports coming out about this movie. Like, recently they had to do extensive reshoots because they wanted to put in cameos and add characters that they couldn't do because COVID was ramping up so badly. And a lot of people are wondering if maybe they're adding X-Men or Illuminati stuff, like Charles Xavier and like just all that insane stuff. We got a trailer for Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness at the end of Spider-Man No Way Home that they then released, I think, the week after on Monday, like online, which is nuts. So, like, yeah, this movie is going to be absolutely insane, and it's my most anticipated movie of 2022.
And thank you for listening to our show. We hope you have a good and safe new year, and we will actually talk to you in the new year with our Scream video. So stay tuned for that, and we will talk to you then.